The next three videos are about sharing what people said in the interviews in more detail. This video is about the experiences of people with learning disabilities in senior positions. The first questions I asked were, what do you do and what has your career path looked like so far? Everyone worked more than one job. People worked as actors, directors, producers, board members, facilitators, access consultants, and scenario role players. Everyone had a main job at a learning disability theatre organisation. People have been working at those organisations for several years. They usually started as participants in a performance-making course or as an artist making work for their shows. Some people had been to mainstream performing arts courses or colleges and been told they wouldn't be able to advance to higher education. Nobody had been a line manager for someone else. The next question I asked was, what do you like about your job? People had different answers about what they enjoyed. One person said their favourite part of the work was touring theatre shows to special schools. They enjoyed sharing sensory experiences with people with profound and multiple learning disabilities who hadn't experienced theatre before. Another person's answer covered lots of things, but they had two things in common: connecting with people and having a clear role. They enjoyed going to conferences and careers fairs, working closely with artists, and creating the company's podcast, where they got to select the guests and decide what questions would be asked. In all of those cases, knowing what they were expected to do meant they could enjoy the work more. A third person enjoyed how varied their work was. They worked as a co-director with 3 different groups of participants with learning disability. They enjoyed how different each group was and how that gave them more flexible skills as a facilitator. The next question was, what do you find most difficult about your job? Nobody found it more difficult to work at a senior level than at a junior level at their main jobs. One person shared experiences that made work generally difficult. They shared that they struggle to keep focus, especially if there aren't clear tasks and goals. They also talked about their experiences of mental health, which have a big impact on their work, and that they are often too proud to ask for help or for time off. Another person shared an experience of working on a placement at a mainstream theatre. One of their tasks was to review policy documents and to suggest changes to make things better for disabled people. But the policies themselves weren't in Easy Read already. The venue hadn't heard of Easy Read before and asked if the person with a learning disability could do it for them. This was similar to the experiences of neurodivergent leaders, who were often expected to find solutions to their own access needs. The next question I asked was, when have your access needs been met well, and what did that look like? Everyone shared experiences of access needs being respected at their main jobs, and of having a deep sense of trust that their organisation would meet new access needs if anything changed. This was not the same as them always being perfect. One person shared that when they started at their job, they used to have lots of meetings one after the other. There weren't long breaks between them, and they couldn't take in all of the information that was given to them. Now, the organisation arranges meetings so they aren't one after the other, and the leader with a learning disability doesn't have to miss any important meeting. One person shared that their organisation respected mental health conditions, and that there were times when they needed more support, reassurance, or time off work. They also shared that their organisation gave time off for caring responsibility. 2 people shared experiences of finding regular reminders and reassurance helpful, especially when learning new tasks. People said support workers were important for meeting these needs. In one organisation, all of the staff have "How did I do today" sheets, which clearly lay out what they are expected to do each day. At the end of the day, everyone fills theirs out. Some things are about tasks, like I will lead the warm-up, while others were about behaviour. I won't look at my phone during sessions. These sheets aren't looked at by anyone else, and nobody gets in trouble if they don't do what's on them. But it can be a helpful reminder of what we're expected to do each day. The last question I asked was, which access needs still aren't met? People generally felt that access needs were being consistently met at their main jobs. One person shared that the main barrier was letting people know that they needed help. They put the barrier in their own way. Again, this person highlighted the importance of a support worker who knew them well and was able to notice when something was wrong.